What's up, guys? Today we'll be covering Labyrinth of Ragnarok, a mobile game published by Gravity, similar to the Ragnarok online game for PC that launched in 2002. This one is more of like an AFK idle game. Alright, so first things first, I got this account from a friend of mine who just recently quit this game because he got accepted to the closed beta of Tower of Fantasy. Shout out to Omni, aka Chais from Ragnarok Mobile. Um, right, so we inherited this Stalker account. I've only had this account for about a day. I did my research on the build. So today that's what we're gonna go over. So first thing, let's look at the skills. Right. Sword training, just melee damage increase. We have double attack max, which allows you to attack twice, obviously. This is a copied skill, Intimidate, from the Archer tree, which is improved concentration, gives you plus 22.5% attack speed, which we'll cover in a little bit. Snatcher, for farming purposes, item drop rate and zenny drop rate. And another copied skill from the Professor increases ally physical damage and critical damage rate for a period of time. As you can see here, attack plus 200, attack plus 30%, and crit rate plus 30. This applies to your shared characters and also your PvP companions. So I would say it's a must pick up for Stalker. And we have Shadow Formation, which gives you a few seconds of immunity, shadow damage increase, and attack and magic attack. Shadow damage increase. Primarily, Stalkers do shadow damage, so I'm going to go over that when we look at the gears. And lastly, we have Fatal Menace, which is the primary damage skill of Stalkers. Physical, magic damage, and curse status applied, which is damage dealt and critical attack rate decrease. So it's a debuff. All right. Now we did skills. Let's go over stats. As you can see here, it's max agility and max luck. This build primarily focuses on flee and attack speed. This build is not for MVP boss hunts, although it can do it decently. This build is more of an all-around build for PvE and PvP. As you can see, crit there is 199, a little bit, I would say, actually, it's over the top. Flee is 3,500, which you'll see that the character barely gets hit, right? So attack is, close to 40k. I'd say that's pretty decent. But let's look at additional stats, right? Attack speed 654. From what I heard, from between 600 and 1000 attack speed, the difference is like one extra attack per weapon swing, which pretty much goes from 7 auto attacks to 8 auto attacks per weapon swing, which we'll demonstrate later. Okay, overall damage increase 32.5, and then melee damage 35.8. But let's look at this. Shadow damage increase is 68.11. I went over that about the skill Shadow Formation, which increases shadow damage by an additional 25. So this character is stacking shadow damage. And let's look at the weapon. This is a Trans 8 Cursed Dagger. As you can see on the top right, it has a level 1 shadow element modification, which turns the weapon property into shadow, therefore benefiting from the increase in shadow damage. Cards, you can see that for yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. But the main focus of this build, like I said earlier, is fleet and shadow damage. So for Mantle, we are using White Wing, which gives agility and flee 18%. And then we're using Harpy Feather, which gives luck and flee 16%. For the rest of the gear, it's the Nab Ring, which is another shadow damage increasing item. Same for the Shadow Crown, which is move speed, luck, strength, shadow damage. And then lastly, we have the Nab Cloth, which gives luck, cooldown reduction, attack speed, and more shadow damage. All right. So as you can see, it's mainly focusing flee, shadow damage, and attack speed. So let's actually see how that looks like. We see an MVP right here. Let's go ahead and see what this boy can do. All right, so I see about 200k double attack damage, and I believe I saw Fatal Menace do about 500k damage. We are in Vayne's field, which is the highest field out right now in the current state of the game. Let's go here to the last map. The boss for this map is not unlocked yet, so we're waiting for that update. So let's just take a moment to see if we are dodging hits and doing enough damage. All right, looks good so far. We're at full HP, so we're not really taking that much damage at all. I cannot demonstrate the PvP aspect of this character because I already used the PvP entries available for the day, but let's see if we can do a dungeon. Okay, Space of Infinite. This is a dungeon where you can farm resources for. Atros is the highest out right now. He is shadow property, so I'm not going to go test on that because we do shadow damage, so we're probably going to be nerfed. Let's try Tao Gonka. Like I mentioned, the PvE DPS aspect of this character is not the focus, although it can do decent. It's good enough to clear stages, push maps, and do some bosses or MVPs. But the primary focus of this is to be well-rounded, which can be used both in PvE and PvP. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit about this class and this build. Later.